Hello, I am Jeff Weber, and we've had quite a week this week. Here are some of the factors with disruptions: energy, healthcare, finance and banking, military and defense. The biggest drop, I think, has been in the technology industry, and crypto has been going up or down. Trump seems to be in favor of cryptos, and so that might help it. But you're always going to have sectors with disruptions, and those are the sectors I look for. When you see my list of 10 leaps this week, you'll see I'm heavily into technology stocks because they're the ones that have dropped the most very recently. And I feel when you're starting AIM investing, you should try and find leaps and or ETFs that are at or near their 52-week lows. It's very hard to kill a stock. They recover greatly. And to give you an idea, if somebody asked you how have been the last 19 years of the stock market, you'd have to say I'm very, very bullish because the Dow Jones hit 6,500 in March 2009. And right now, even after the drop of this week, is still over 38,000. Next, AIM investing is basically it's a simple algorithmic way to invest that always causes you to buy low and sell high. The beauty of it is it scientifically and logically tells you when to buy or sell, not emotionally, which is very useful during a trying time like this when many people are panicking because they don't have a sound investing strategy. The beauty of it is you never miss the buys and sells because they're calculated ahead of time and you place them with your broker as a limit buy and sell. It can take as little as 1 hour a month. But my big improvement, I think, to Robert Lucillo's method is using long-term options or leaps instead of stocks, because stocks normally are just not volatile enough to get many buys or sells or make very high profits. And to me, the long-term options or leaps on very big stocks like Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA, etc., are very safe. And I'm going to show you a way that's even safer than leaps on NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Apple, which is a new investing vehicle that was just created recently by the people who pioneered leveraged options by the name of Direxion, and we'll talk about those a little later. The beauty of AIM is you're only using half your money as an investment, the other half remains cash. So if you started with $20,000 with AIM, you would have 10,000 worth of leaps and 10,000 worth of cash. So you always would have money to use when you needed to make a buy. And I've come out with a very good strategy for markets like this one, which is a very extreme drop in prices, by using my bear buy and super bear buy. The monthly list that I devise, you can see we're on line about 200 here, row 200 for the Direxions. Okay. Direxion has come out with what is called single stock ETFs. Here's one of the advantages of ETFs, or actually there's two good advantages of, actually three good advantages of ETFs. I'll correct myself here. For example, one of the stocks I like is NVIDIA, the chip maker. Again, you see the pink. The pink means this is an ETF that pays a dividend. And if you go to the last column, you'll see if you buy NVIDIA, it pays a 4.89% dividend. That's an added bonus. Plus, the advantage of the NVIDIA ETF over the NVIDIA Leap is you never have to worry about rolling over the Leap, because just like a stock, an ETF never expires. So you don't have to worry that, oh my God, it's been down for so long, what am I going to do? Because there are instances, I have to tell you, where, not very often, but where a Leap doesn't ever rally enough to get back to the point where you can even break even. And you can see they still have very good, and plus the you notice with these ones, look at the current prices on all of these, and you get bull and bear ones, as you can see. I prefer the the bull ones, but I wanted to give you everything to see. Look at Tesla. 494 is the low. You can buy it at 985, and the high is 4150. Now, the Tesla bull does not have a dividend, so what? But if you like Tesla, right now, even the Tesla Leap would probably be around $50 at 5,000 a contract. You'd have to buy for 5,000. You could just buy 1,000 and you could trade it. And you'll see when I pull up the Tesla spreadsheet that I have a few investors already that are buying these Direxions. So why don't you pull up the Direxion Tesla, and we'll show people actually how AIM is dealing with Tesla in these trying times here. Okay, here we go. Chris likes Tesla, but he didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. So look at what he did. Okay, he started with 3,000 shares of the ETF at $8.07. Now, what I have found from experience is all the AIM investments require different percentages to figure out good buy and sell points. On this Tesla ETF, I decided that 20% was a good buy amount and 20% was a good sell amount. And so far, it's proved very true. And I found you don't want to use a safe amount that you need with the volatility of a Leap, because these are only 2 times leveraged, and you're still going to get plenty of action and profits. And I'll show you an example of it. Okay, right off the bat, he bought at 807. You can see at 972 in the very next row, he generated a sell of 478 shares of his ETF and receive 4,646. You can see we're doing the same basic AIM strategy. You can see his cash went up to 2856. When I do AIM, I always have the first row of a buy or sell shows the actual buy or sell. The second row right below it, that's why you see 972 twice. I use that as the admin row to adjust the value of the Leap. I'm sorry, the value of the ETF and the value of the cash to get it correct, so I can figure the next one down at the bottom. And you can see every time we do this, we base it on the final rows. So by doing it in this format and putting the buy and sell down at the bottom, I've made it very easy to calculate the next buy and sell. All you have to do is look down at the last row, and you see you have 2,526 shares of the ETF. 26,509 is your portfolio control. Notice how you see those right at the bottom. 2526 is the shares you own. 26,519 is the value of the portfolio control. And when you go over again, You see your next buy is 631 shares at $8.40. It's currently at 10.50, so that's 25%, 20% lower at 8.40. And you see your next sell is 421 shares. The number of shares you sell is always going to be less because the price is higher. It's 50% higher, roughly, than the other price, 40% higher, we'll say. So you see how AIM has already given you your next buy or sell. All you need to do once you own this is to check around closing time every day for the stock market and see if you had a buy or sell, which would have been automatically executed because you had limit orders in with the broker, a buy and sell limit order. So, and you'll get the hang of it fairly quickly because you're doing the same thing every time. And you can see here, we started on March 17th. By April 1st, 2 weeks later, we've already had 3 sells and 1 buy. So you're getting plenty of action. Your portfolio value has grown. The value of your cash and ETFs has grown from 48,420 to 56,741. Pretty good. Right now, you have what I call a tidal wave stock market. What does that mean? That means when the tsunami wave hits the beach, everything is getting wiped out. Good and bad and indifferent and ugly, is getting wiped out. So you have many choices right now to buy quality stocks that everybody will be regretting 5-10 years from now that they didn't buy right now. Don't be one of those people, because this is your golden opportunity in a world that gets harder and harder to make a living at, gets harder and harder to pay your bills at, and gets harder and harder to have a great retirement in. So AIM is going to get you there if you want, if you're willing to be patient and you're willing to be non-emotional. Subscribe to my Leaps lists, and that's going to be $95 a month for as long as you want to subscribe. But I think, because I've had many questions in past sessions, the biggest problem people have is, well, Jeff, I don't understand what's a good leap I should be buying right now. Well, leaps are very important to have the most current pricing information. By weekly prices, you will always have a good list of 10 to choose from if you're adding another leap to your portfolio because you've gotten rid of one, or you want to add more. You started with 3 and you want to add a 4th. So I highly suggest and recommend that you do this. I think it'll be one of the best purchases you ever make. And I think you'll find it extremely, extremely useful. View it like the pension you'll never see. View it like, what kind of money, what am I saving from my retirement? And we all live longer. I'm living proof. I'm 77, so believe me, you get up there, and you wonder where the years went. This opportunity will go away quickly, and don't be one who regrets, oh my God, I could have made a fortune, if I'd bought when Jeff told me. Thank you very much for attending. I appreciate your attendance.